Hi, welcome back to the channel folks. JD here with another quick car finance video. I'm going to try and stick to under 10 minutes today because I'm aware that I tend to waffle a little bit. So let's get straight into today's video. So I thought I'd choose an Audi today. I haven't looked at Audis for a long time. I don't know if I've ever done a video on an Audi. Maybe I have. Anyway, so I just thought I'd pick a car totally at random. So I've gone for an A3 Sportback, and I'm a bit out of touch with the Audi naming convention, if you like. When I had Audis, it was a 2-litre TDI Sportback or a 1.9 S-Line or whatever. Now they seem to have gone for like numbers like 35 and 40 and things. I don't know what that means, but I've chosen kind of, I suppose the bottom of the range Audi A3 Sportback. It's a Teknik trim, which looks like it's the bottom of the range. I've gone for a manual 35 TFSI, so that's going to be I do know that that's petrol. So that's going to be the petrol version, manual gearbox, no options. And I just thought I'd see what kind of finance offers are available. So the interesting thing about Audi is that certainly when I've looked in the past, their APRs never seem to be that competitive compared to other manufacturers. Like with BMW, as we've seen previously, often you can get 3.9 or 4.9, even 1.9 sometimes. And on the bigger cars, certainly I remember a few years ago, they were doing 0% on some of their cars, certainly like the 640Ds, for example. Audis, well, if you look on the A3, they're currently showing an APR of 6.3. So yeah, it's reasonable, but it doesn't seem as competitive as perhaps other manufacturers offer. Porsche even will give you 6.8 APR on a new Porsche. So I don't know, it doesn't seem as competitive as you might get from other manufacturers. Anyway, so they are saying their current offer, this is a 4-year PCP deal. Nice to see that they've put 47 payments on a 48-month deal. Remember what I said last time, just check that it's not 48 payments and then the final value, or make sure if it says 48 months you're aware that it's 47 months of equal payments. Or it could be 48, but then it would really be a 49-month agreement, if you see what I mean. Anyway, let's carry on. So this is a 47 equal payment PCP, and they are saying you need to put in £2,490 and 50 pence deposit, and they're giving you a Audi contribution of £1,000. Now the retail cash price is 24,905, and it's got an optional final payment of 11,315. Okay, so we could do it based on this, but what I thought we'd do is to give, see if we can get a better deal than that. I nipped over to Carwow and I just went for the exact same spec, and if we go into my garage, this is the first offer I've got, no affiliation with anybody obviously. They are saying 23,125, okay, rather than the standard list, which on here is 24,905. Okay, now if you do use Carwow, just make sure that you check both the cash and the PCP finance option, because often you'll see an offer from Carwow or any of these services that will include any kind of incentive if you take the car out on finance. So if you're looking to use a personal loan or your own cash or whatever, you might find that the purchase price is higher because it's not taking into consideration any kind of dealer incentive deposit contribution for using their finance. But interesting with this, look, it looks like it's exactly the same price. The headline price is exactly the same whether you pay with cash or whether you use PCP. So that's fine, we've checked that. So I'm going to use this figure in the spreadsheet rather than the figure that Audi are quoting. So let's go over to the old spreadsheet. Again, as usual, I'll put a link up to the spreadsheet here. We're going to use 23,125. Okay, everything else is the same. I've already completed this spreadsheet. So deposit of 2,490.50, dealer deposit of 1,000. So that gives us a loan amount of 19,634. Okay. Actually, what I will do, I tell a lie. What I will do, I'm going to use their figure just so that we can make sure the spreadsheet is accurate. So 24,905. APR of 6.3. So, and when I checked this before I kind of started this video, I noticed that the spreadsheet was slightly over-reading in this case. And remember what I've said previously, you know, do check it, because there's rounding issues, you know, it might not be 6.3 APR, it could be 6.255555, which is going to give you a slightly different reading. So what I would say is do tweak the APR slightly so you can make sure that your spreadsheet is reading pretty much the same. So this is coming out at 302.45 and Audi are coming out at 398. And you can compare it by looking at the total amount payable lot. So the total amount payable there, which includes £10, which will be built into the final value, is 28,951.56. And our spreadsheet is saying 29,020. So it's about 70 quid over. So I'm just going to pull the APR back slightly. 6.2, so that's not bad. Look, 28,954, and they're saying 28,951. So that's, you know, a couple of quid over the 4-year term. So we know that our spreadsheet is pretty accurate now. So let's go back to put our Carwow figure in. So we were 23,125. Okay, right. So that gives us a monthly payment of 258.29. So there's an interesting point. We've just saved ourselves £42 a month by going to Carwow. Interesting. So, you know, do shop around. All I've done is knocked off that £1,774, and that's made a substantial difference on the monthly payment. That's nice to know, isn't it? Because remember, you're not paying as much interest because there's not as much, you're not borrowing as much capital. So it's bringing it down over £40 a month. Right, so let's see what we're going to owe roughly if we wanted to settle this at, say, the 1 year point. So at 1 year on the spreadsheet, we're looking at roughly about 17,800, 17,900, again depending on how much of a penalty there is to settle early. So this column, actually, I've never really explained this column on the spreadsheet kind of gives you a settlement, assuming there was no penalty at all, and this column adds on roughly a couple of months interest, because that's the maximum you can add on when you're settling early. It's 58 days. So that's kind of roughly adding 58 extra days of interest on. So this one is probably going to be more close, or more closer to the actual settlement value we get from a lender. So let's use this column. So after 12 months, we're looking at £17,870. Okay. So like we did last time on the previous video, I'll put a link up to that here as well. I went over to Parker's just to get a rough valuation. So if you visit the Parker's site, we're going to get a free car valuation. And I'm not saying this is overly accurate, but it will give us an indication. As I said before, if you want a true valuation of your car, pay for a cap value, and that will give you, you know, a more likely accurate valuation. But anyway, we're going to use Audi, and we're going to choose an A3, and we're going to choose an A3 Sportback. Where are we? A3 Sportback. Okay. Great, and we're going to choose a 1 year old. So we're at May 2020 when I'm making this video. So we're going to choose one from 2019, and we're going to choose a Teknik SE Teknik 35 TFSI petrol. Okay, that's the one we're looking at buying. I'm just curious. Okay, so this is saying the problem is with this, it doesn't give you any part exchange price anymore. It just gives you what you would pay for one privately or at a dealer. I think if you pay Parker's, you subscribe to it, you would get a part X price as well. So we're kind of having to guess. But let's say you were looking at buying one of these in 1 year's time. You'd be looking at paying maximum based on 10,000 miles of 15,800. So that's lost what, 8 grand or so in the first year. Dealer price, you're looking at up to 17. So like we did last time, let's take roughly the middle of these two. So 13.9, so let's say between 14 and 17, so let's say 15 and a half, we might be able to sell the car for. So let's whack that into the old spreadsheet. 15 and a half at month 12. So if you wanted to get out of this car after 12 months, not that I'd advise anybody to do that on a PCP, because you're always going to be in negative equity some way, shape or form. It's not too bad, £2,300. I've been in a lot more negative equity than that on my cars after 12 months, I can tell you. Let's see if we can do a 2-year-old one. I don't know whether we'll be able to, because I don't think this model was around 2 years ago. So again, we're going to have to use a bit of discretion. But let's see if we can get a valuation on an 18 plate 2018 car. So Audi A3 Sportback. Let's see what models are available. So we're going to go this time for 2 years from now, which is a 2018. Have we got? No, you see, there isn't the. Oh no, there is a Teknik. Okay, fine. Okay, so there it is. Look, SE Teknik 35 TFSI. Let's see what it's saying after 2 years. Oh, I pressed the wrong button there. There we go. It's not dropped significantly, see, after 2 years. So that's quite good to know. So, again, we're saying between 12.3 and 15. So what's that? 2.7, so 1.3, about 13,750, shall we say? So 13,750 after 2 years. 2 years, 13,750 roughly. So it's getting better. 2 grand. So if you wanted to get out of this car early, after 2 years, you'd probably be looking at about £2,000 in negative equity. But who knows? You know, especially in the moment, we don't know what cars are going to be worth. But as usual, it's just for information, just a bit of an example. We could VT on this one at about 39 payments. Okay. Just remember, while we're talking about VT, we haven't talked about this for a while. When you, not that I've ever voluntarily terminated, and people are asking me, you know, does it affect your credit rating and all that? I don't know. It will leave a mark on your credit file, but whether it will affect your ability to get finance down the line, I don't know. There's lots of information online, so do have a look for that for yourselves. What I want to talk about VT though is, sometimes people think you can VT halfway through the term. So you think, oh, well, I've got a 4-year agreement. That means if I've paid 24 payments, I can get out of it. Yes, that roughly works on an HP. But remember, the rules for voluntary terminating is when you've paid 50% of the agreement. And that includes your deposit you put down and includes any charges. Now with a PCP, because you're offsetting a massive amount in the final payment, you obviously, unless you put, it still probably wouldn't work, but unless you put a massive deposit in, you're not going to have paid halfway. If you look here, look, we need to have paid, the total amount there, look, is 26,945. So to VT, we'd need to have paid £13,500 roughly. Okay, so halfway through, you'll have paid this deposit. So if I just show you, get the old calculator up, just to avoid any confusion when people thinking it's, you know, half the term. If you go, well, how much will I have paid after 24 months? So I'll have paid 24 times, in this case, 258.29. That's not right. Try again. 24 times 258.29 plus dealer deposit, because unless it's shown as a discount, that should still count. If it's counted as a deposit on the agreement, 1,000, and our other deposit of 2,490.50. So after 24 payments, you see, you've only paid £9,689.46. Okay, and what we need to have paid is 50% of this amount. So 26,945 divided by 2, we need to have paid 13,472 to even consider VTing the car. Okay, so that's why with a PCP, because you've got this big value at the end, it's not half the term. It more or less is with HP, because obviously you're paying it down to nothing. With a PCP, you're paying it down to kind of this amount at the end. So it doesn't work. So that's why the spreadsheet's telling me we've actually got to have paid almost 39 payments to have paid off half the total amount on the agreement. Hope that was useful. Please comment and subscribe as usual. Email me here for a copy of the spreadsheet, or to find out how you can get a copy, or any other general questions you want to ask me. I really like answering your queries. See you soon. Thanks for watching.